Well, welcome back for another edition of the Borderland Blitz, sponsored by Southwest University, week number 2. I'm Adrian Ochoa.
And I'm Dee Martinez. Well, I'm glad, Adrian, we didn't have to deal with any lightning.
No.
Not too much rain, so happy about that.
Very much so. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup. Our game of the week will take us to Conquest Stadium for a showdown between the Franklin Cougars and those Del Valle Conquistadores.
We'll then head to East El Paso, where the Austin Panthers paid a visit to the Stack to take on the El Dorado Aztecs. And then two teams in search of their first win of the season, the Eastwood Troopers taking on the Chapin Huskies.
Let's get things started here with our game of the week. Franklin, Del Valle, both teams had statement wins in week 1 last week. The goal tonight could make it 2-0. So let's go to Conquest Stadium. Cougars, Conquistadores. Franklin was the first to put numbers on the board here. As you see, quarterback Lucas Garcia going to hand it off to the big man, Ernie Powers. He finds the gap. Franklin up 7-0. Del Valle out to even the score, though. Jake Fetty, the Arizona State commit. There it is. Forkum. That's it,
Yes,
right? Yeah. Jake Fetty gonna launch it downfield. The big bomb to Abraham Garcia. We're all knotted at 7. Franklin tries to make a drive right here, but ends up short, and they'll kick it to make it 10-7. Del Valle's Fetty, though, with the handoff here to Dylan Gonzalez, and Dylan Gonzalez, welcome to End Zone City. Breaking tackles, made it 14-10. Del Valle on top. Del Valle with a major comeback in this one. This was a good back and forth game, but in the end, Del Valle improves to 2-0 on the season as they take it by 10 points tonight. Final score 40-30. A good one over at Conquest Stadium tonight.
Yeah, no complaints about that one. Definitely, glad we made that game of the week. Much deserved. Well, over at the Stack, the El Dorado Aztecs played host to the Austin Panthers. Both teams entering the game 1-0. Now, it was a little humid over at the Stack, but at least no rain in the first quarter. The Aztecs quarterback Bryson Booth dishes it to the Minnesota commit running back Ryan Estrada. It's a foot race down the sideline, and he goes untouched for the first touchdown of the night for El Dorado. Then we see Booth with the connect right there to their star wide receiver, Jadarius Sanders. Yeah, he leaves the Panthers defense in the dust, extending the Aztecs lead 14-zip. Now, I know you're wondering, could the Panthers respond? Well, right here in the second quarter, quarterback Christian Leiva tosses it to Joel Castaneda in the backfield. He sees the open lane and takes it, securing the first touchdown for the Panthers. He cuts it 14-7. But of course, Estrada, he answers quickly with the 60-yard touchdown run. El Dorado runs away with it 47-13. Wow. They get win number 1 on the year.
The future Minnesota Gopher putting on a show over at the Sack.
Yeah, he was all over the place. So.
Love to see it. Well, the Montwood Rams and the Canoteo Eagles were looking for a better showing in week 2 after losing their season openers. Who was due for a bounce back this week? Let's go to the blue turf. Home opener for the Canoteo Eagles, and the Eagles wasted no time getting things rolling on the opening kickoff here. Canoteo's Silas Reyes. Check this out right here. Making moves, busting loose, and I even had to back up for this one because it was a little too close for comfort there because I saw him coming right at me here. But takes him into the red zone, and on the first play of the drive, the handoff to Jared Gomez, and just like that, the Eagles are on the board 7-0. But the Rams going to answer right back on their first possession of the game. Their quarterback, Damian Briano, buying time, looking downfield. He'll chuck it, and he'll find Miguel Escado, who makes a nice catch and waltzes right into the end zone. They'd missed the extra point, though, so Canoteo is up by 1, 7-6 at this point. Canoteo, though, is going to hit pay dirt again, and once again, they give it to Gomez, and he's going to turn on the Jets. He's taking it to the house for another Eagles touchdown to extend their lead 14-6. Head coach Scott Brooks was happy with that play. Then in the second quarter, Canoteo within striking distance once again, and once again it's Gomez with touchdown number 3. He just had himself a day today. Eagles were up 21-13 at that point as they take it by a final score of 57-32. Canoteo putting up 57 over the Montwood Rams from District 16A.
Yeah, I'll take it. Well, okay, Rishi, I know I've kind of taken over, Sack 1 and Sack 2. You were the king last year. I kind of took over, I would say, a little bit. But how was tonight for you, Rishi?
Yeah, I spent some time in the Northeast tonight, and yeah, you did steal a sack from me. I'm gonna have to hand over the keys at some point. But yeah, it was a good night of football in the Northeast today. And when you can just like smell football, right? There's like a smell. I don't know what it is. The trees or the grass or something, but you could smell it tonight in the Northeast. First game was at Irvin High School, but the Rockets weren't playing. It was the Chapin Huskies playing host to the Eastwood Troopers. Both teams looking for win number 1 on the season. Chapin was trying to rebound after a loss to Franklin last week, and Eastwood coming off a trip to California after taking on the number 2 ranked team in the country, St. John Bosco. First play of the game for the Troopers is a big one. Quarterback Kingston Jeffries hits Jordan Nava over the middle, and that is a massive gain, 50-plus yards. Again, first play of the game. That sets the Troopers inside the 30. 2 plays later, Jude Walker is going to get the easiest touchdown of his life from Jeffries, and Eastwood on top just 90 seconds into the game. But the Huskies come barking back. They scored a field goal on their first drive, and then on Eastwood's second drive, they're going to force a turnover on the tip drill. Ethan Camacho is going to pick it off. He's going to go down the sideline with a nice return, and that's going to set Chapin up in great field position, and they would make good on that turnover. The UTEP commit, Davion Singleton, showing off that speed and the strength, breaking a couple of tackles to the house. Huskies on top 10-7, but Eastwood would respond. Second quarter, Jeffries going to do it himself. He's going to go right up the middle and straight to the crib. Troopers bounce back with a big-time victory. They take it 35-19. Next game for me was just up the road. The Andrews Eagles hosted the Coronado Thunderbirds. Another matchup of 2 teams looking for their first win, and this game was dominated by Andrews in the first half at least. Game was 7-0 in the second quarter when I got there. Eagles running back Brian Cordova had a good game. He's going to set them up in the red zone with a solid run right here. And then quarterback Jamari Milton on the next play is going to hit his favorite receiver, sophomore Avant Clayton, on the screen pass. He's going to break 1 tackle, and then another one, and a third one for good measure. Tiptoe down the sideline for the score. Eagles up 14-0. Coronado trying to respond late in the first half, however. On 4th down, quarterback Wes Stansbury, great name there, hits Ben Wilson for the tough catch and the first down, but the Eagles defense held strong. Multiple sacks to close out the half, and the score would remain 14-0 at halftime. Second half did get a little wild, though. T-Birds got that offense going, but it would not be enough. Eagles hang on for win number 1, 47-28. Well, I had a great time in the Northeast. That was my first time watching Andrews this season. First time in the Northeast in a long time, but I had a good time. I'm looking forward to the next week and looking forward to seeing some of those other D1 commits that we got here in the Borderland.
Rishi's making a statement. King of the Northeast. Why not? We'll be sending you over more to cover some more games. Andrews, Irvin, Chapin.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Rishi. Well, check this out. This was a big-time win for the Pebble Hills Spartans today, taking down the Midland Bulldogs on the road. Pebble Hills coming away with the 1-point victory. 13-12 was the final as the Spartans improved to 2-0 on the season. This is a big statement win for Coach Warner doing this on the road, especially to that Midland squad. That's a very good squad that they beat over in Midland today. So congratulations to those Pebble Hills Spartans. Yeah,
well, we want to remind you that you can watch the Borderland Blitz on the KBIA ABC 7 CTV app. It's available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. You can rewatch the Borderland Blitz if you want to relive the action with Adrian Ochoa and I, and of course Rishi, and of course Paul Sikala. Or if you just missed it one week, you can go ahead and replay it.
And speaking of Paul Sikala, he's coming up right after the break. We got a lot more to talk about. We got the Battle of the South Side. Jefferson taking on Bowie. We'll also head back over to the northeast part of town, that's where we found the Riverside Rangers taking on those Parkland Matadors. And of course, we can't forget about the cheerleaders. The War of the Week. That's coming up right after the break.